I'd like to introduce you to a scripting engine found within dotCMS 1.9 this morning. Now, there was a scripting plugin which was available for both the Enterprise Edition and dotCMS 1.7. In 1.9, it comes out of the box, built in. In addition to that, the APIs into it have been streamlined. It's simpler to use and more powerful. Someone might ask, what's the purpose, or why have a scripting engine within dotCMS? One, it lowers the barrier of entry. In other words, it allows existing libraries or existing code to be brought over, utilized, called directly from a page or a dotCMS piece of content. It addresses this statement. I could do that in language X in just one line. Well, now you can. You have the 5 different scripting languages available to you within the engine. It also continues to improve dotCMS's ability to be the best integrations platform for the web. And finally, you can deploy custom functionality without a plugin, without a view tool. You don't even have to restart. It can be done right in line, again, from a dotCMS template, a page, or a dotCMS piece of content. What we've done here is a little bit different than what others are done. There certainly are other web CMSs out there that have scripting objects or a scripting engine in the background, but many times they're disconnected from what's really happening on the page. There's some separate object and you could pass things to it. It can do stuff. This is actually integrated right into your page. It's page aware. It's aware of the session. It's aware of the request. It's fully aware of the velocity context. The scripting languages can even share variables in between them. So what do we actually provide? For those that haven't seen it before, we have Ruby, Python, PHP, JavaScript, and Groovy. We allow for all kinds of things. Let's start to take a look here. Let's look at PHP first. So the first thing everyone does in PHP is the PHP info. And basically, we just have this right here on the page, and it spits this out. Let's look at some other examples. Here we have within the PHP tags, we are echoing the PHP info, and we have PHP info from file above that. So this is right here, what I have highlighted is actually the contents of the file. This is the file name. So what we do to call this is we say php.eval, we pass the file name, which again has these contents, and here's my output. PHP info from file, and then it spits out my PHP info. We could have done this as we did on the previous page, right in line. Here I'm saying PHP info, colon, and then echoing out PHP info. Here you see the PHP info, colon, and I'm echoing out the PHP info. Again, done right in line as opposed to the first example, which showed it from a file. You can even place functions in that file. So in this respect, we have a file called PHP test. And this is the contents highlighted right here of the PHP test. Now you can see I'm passing that file, I'm executing this expression on it. So this particular eval expression takes 2 parameters, the file, and then what do I want to evaluate on it. So in this one I'm saying echo, call me, and I'm passing JSON.CMS. These could be velocity variables that could be replaced here, and so forth. And now it's saying hello JSON from PHP called from dotCMS. You can copy this file out of here and even hit this directly. As you can see here, we're hitting the PHP info. You see again the PHP info from file, and it spits out, as you would expect, a PHP file that spit out if you were to hit it directly. Let's take a look at another example. Now, pretty much everything I'm showing you could be done in the different languages. Sometimes it's a little different, just the nature of the scripting languages, but we gave different examples in different languages just to show you the different things that you could do. Now here in Groovy, we're doing a couple things that we haven't seen yet in the PHP engine, but again, can be done in the PHP engine. For one, we're setting a global variable here. On any of the engines, you can call set. Here, we're setting a global variable called name. We're setting it to the value world. This global variable is available to every scripting language at this point. Groovy, PHP, any of them. So now we call eval hello name exclamation, and here we get our output. It picked up the global variable that was set, it evaluated it. In addition to that, if we look, we'll skip the second example, we'll come to it in a minute. If you look down here, we're doing very similar, except that we were doing in the PHP where we called the function, except in this case, we actually are returning an object right from Groovy, and we're returning the object greeter. Has a method called hello in it that takes a name and it spits out hello in that name. Here you can see our output, and here again you can see how we're evaluating that expression. Take a look at the second example here on the page. This calling a dotCMS class from Groovy. And what this is doing is calling an actual class. We have a dotCMS class called utilmethods. This is its package name in Java, so this is an actual Java class. It has a method on it called capitalize. We're passing it hello. It capitalizes the first letter. Here you can see that is happening. So any Java class that is on your class path, you could call right here from the scripting engine, and multiple of the languages allow this to happen. I'd also like to show you something we're doing here in Python. Take a look at this first example. And here, what we're showing is that we could actually use the request object. Now again, the velocity context, the session object, and the request object are all available to you as global variables. You don't have to set them. They're out of the box available to you. Now right now, you can see we're spitting out none because this is not returning anything because we're not passing a request parameter. But we are saying request.getParameter, we're passing it myParam. Notice there's no $ or anything here. This isn't evaluating in velocity. This is actually being passed to the Python engine and evaluated. If we click here, it's going to set the myParam. It's going to set it to past param. And now you could see here is our output coming right from request.getParameter, and the scripting engine actually has access to the request. It can get things from it. It could put things in it. Same with the velocity context. Same with the session. Again, this really shows, it really lowers the barrier of entry, shows the real power of what you could do within a dotCMS page. And now, even without a restart, without even a plugin, right in line, the ability of what you could do here really makes dotCMS the best integrations platform and really one of the best presentation layers available for the web today.